Hi there, I'm Saul. We've been hard at work on VisiData 3.0, should be released in a couple of weeks here. We've gone from 80 open issues on VisiData, the repo, to down to now we have 12. In fact, a couple of them were just opened today by Isosphere. So I'm going to be actually implementing one of these because I want to keep our bug count down. And also, this is a pretty simple one here. I looked at Isosphere's profile here, and he's a software developer from Nova Scotia. I like those Canadians. I know that Anya is Canadian herself, very nice peoples. And anyway, so he happened to catch us at just the right time. We're going to try to implement this for him. I'm going to do this live here, just to show how easy it is to do this. So, what he wants in this feature anyway, this wish list item, I'd like to be able to define data source details in a configuration file for easy connection later. An RDS database, for example, has a very long host name. I don't want to have to cut and paste it all the time. So he wants these to be easy to open in the user interface, and etc. So perhaps via a reserved URL schema like saved : // db name. So what's interesting about this is that the hard part of implementing a feature is actually designing the feature, and he just makes a suggestion of perhaps it could be like this. We're just going to go ahead and implement that. The actual request, the actual wish list item is for somebody, probably me, to spend, I don't know, hours thinking about how this could be done more smoothly and how it could integrate with all the rest of the VisiData ecosystem. Like, just, make it be an awesome feature. But for right now, I'm just going to implement it as it is, and we'll iterate from there. And so I got my little teammate session set up here. I do all my work, obviously, in the terminal. And so we're just going to start with a visidatarc. And this visidatarc file is completely empty. My actual visidatarc has a ton of junk in it, and I'm going to start from just scratch here. So if you were just doing this, you can see how the process goes. And so I think what we want, so for instance, if I'm trying to load a sample data file, let's just say sample.tsv. Now this could be any connection string. This could be a Postgres : / thing. This could be a URL, it could be a web server. This could be a path of the file system. Regardless, what we want to do is we want to turn this into something that looks like saved : / I don't know, sample for right now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make a simple thing. So there's a feature in VisiData, and this predates 3.0 functionality here. This is already, you should be able to do this in any 2.x, I think. I'm not sure exactly when we added this thing, but we have an open URL designator. And so basically open URL underscore, and then this is the schema. And so we're going to say open URL underscore saved, and this is a VisiData, this is on the VisiData God object here. And we're just going to give it the standard parameters for this thing, which is just the VisiData object, the path p, and file type quar, which we're not going to use. And this decorator here, this VisiData.api decorator, this is because the object is subclassed from the extensible subclass that we have defined in VisiData. It's a utility class, and there's a handful of objects that are subclassed from here, including VisiData and the base sheet class and the column class, for now anyway. And this means that anything that is subclassed from there, you can define monkey-patched functions, the functions that are added onto here anywhere, including the visidatarc. And so rather than having to go into the VisiData object, or sometimes people can do things where they do vd or VisiData dot open URL saved equals this. This makes it, I think, a little easier to actually do that. You just decorate the function, it uses the function name, stuffs it on the object, and you're good to go. So this is the pattern. So we're going to have an open URL saved, and this is going to take the name of the path in the P, and it's going to convert it to a name. And so we're just going to say if p.name is, let's just say sample, then we're going to return, and so open URL returns a sheet, and then the sheet will be loaded once it's pushed, but it can be any sheet, and so we're going to get the sheet from somewhere else. What we're going to do, instead of creating a manual sheet, which we could do here, we're going to use the open source function, which takes a path, I think they even take a string, and then returns the sheet that it opens it with. And so this is going to be, for right now, we're just going to be hard coding it, sample data, sample.tsv, this is what we have in the thing below here. And so what I think should happen here is if we have this set up just like this, then if we do, instead of this sample data, I think we're going to say save sample. And this means that it should just open up the sample data. And there we go. So that's pretty straightforward. Now we're going to make the real feature here, which is he actually wants to define these things. I mean, you could just define it in here as an if statement, just standard Python. Everything in the visidatarc is just Python code. But we're not going to do that. We're going to make it be a dictionary. We're going to set up a dictionary here. We're going to have a dictionary be called, let's call this feature like speed dial or something. This is going to be, well, save sources. Let's just call it speed dial for that. Speed dial. And really the thing that makes the features it will be implemented and imported into VisiData is having these things sort of what's it called, what are the underlying names of the functions called and objects, where all those little details that are actually user facing, what do those look like? And if those are done, then the actual implementation is very straightforward. And so this is going to be a map, a dictionary of the string, the name of the thing, like sample, to the actual path name. And so we can do, for instance, speed dial sample equals, I'm going to take this, and if we do, instead of if, we just say vd.speeddial name, and this should do the same. So if I do this, it should open up that sample thing. Great. And now if we want to, we can just add numerous things in here. We can say, let's make it be the benchmark thing we have, which is the list of just a list of rows that has some Unicode stuff in it, and that works too. So now we got these things. So, okay, so now we can configure this just in your visidatarc just by adding a single line like this. It's not the, you have to actually put an entry into the dictionary. I don't think that's a big deal. Maybe we want to add something else. So we're going to go one better than this, and we're going to make it so that if you've already got a sheet loaded, you can save it to your speed dial by executing a command. And so we're going to add a command. And so we're going to add a command. And this vd.add command is a new alias in 3.0. If you want to do it in an earlier version, you can use base sheet.add command, which is functionally equivalent. And then the parameters to add command are the keystroke, which we're not going to have it bound right now. We're going to call it save speed dial or something like that. Again, I don't know what the command name should be. We can think about that. And actually, the more details like this are fleshed out and actually figured out, for instance, in the wish list item, the easier this process goes. And then we're going to call, this is the exec string, we're going to call something. I'm just going to make a function that's save speed dial. And we're going to ask what the save name should be here. And this is going to be save to speed dial as. And in fact, maybe we'll give it the sample value of the name of the source. And that's it. And then we can give it a help string at some point too. So again, the help string. So now we're going to define this save speed dial. And since we want to use the source of the sheet, we're going to save that off. We're going to make this be a base sheet API function. And so this is going to take the sheet. I'll take the object as the first parameter because they're member functions. And it's going to take this input, which is going to be the speed name. And that's it. And now we're going to, I think we're just going to do a very simple hack here. We're going to basically open up the visidatarc and just print one of these lines above to it. So we're going to say with, and I'm going to use the path object that handles this tilde thing. I don't think the Python pathlet does, but we're going to do that. We're going to open it as append, and now we're going to just print this line with the substituted speed name and the source name, sheet.source. Sheet.source, I think we'll stringify it. And file with FD, and then this is going to basically, instead of manually specifying things, now we can load up a sheet, and when we see that it's working, we can do the save speed dial command. So now we're gonna, if now we launch save BM, it's gonna say, it gives an error. And actually, we can clean that up. We can make this error be a little bit better here. We're gonna say if p.name not in speed dial, then fail no saved data source. Now if we do this, it'll give us that error. This guy, and get out here as well. And so, okay, it'll give us that thing. Great. Now, if we launch the sample data CSV and we run this save speed dial, and this is the new command palette that our friend Moritz put together, and I find myself using it all the time actually. So I just type space and then speed, and now I can run this command here and save the speed dial as, we'll just call it BM again. And it's going to run it here. And so if I look at this, it's added this here, and that's just going to be part of the thing. So you run it again with the save VM, then there it is. It's just loaded up, no problem. And so this is a total hack. I'm not sure this is exactly how it should work, but as far as a first pass of getting this feature functional, I think this is sufficient. And anybody can pop this code, these 10, 15 lines of code into the VisiData.rc and try it out and see how it works, and see how they like it. We can do a lot of things to polish this up. We can add it to the menu system, for instance. Let me add menu items. And let's put it under file. Let's see here. File save. And then source to speed dial. I don't know, something like that. I'll call it this in here. And that's sufficient. And so we want to do this. We want to add the help string here, save source to speed dial. I'm not sure. This should be a lot more evocative than just that. We put something there. Handle some more error conditions. I think this, what will this handle? I don't know. We'll have to polish it all up, right? A bunch of different pieces to do. Okay, so we do this, then of course it'll be on the menu, and I can demonstrate that, for instance. Well, it's not there anymore. If we load up the benchmark, then put up the menu, and save source to speed dial. And then it'll ask us the same thing, we can do etc., and it'll pretend it, and we're off to the races. So this would be the a bare bones solution. Actually, not even that bare bones for this issue 2123 that Matt suggested. And what's great about this is that we put this all in our VisiData.rc, but the exact code that we put into VisiData in order to get this to work would just be a copy of this into a file in VisiData features. Everything is completely portable because of how the thing is structured. So this individual feature is just completely self-contained. All we have to do is add a few imports to the top for VisiData and base sheet and VD, and that's it. We're done in Path. And so I'm gonna toss this off and paste this into the issue as a potential solution for people to try. And then once it turns out that either I use it or other people use it, and we've come upon what we think the actual whole thing, how it should work, and what the prompts are, maybe we do wind up adding it to VisiData at some point. So anyway, that's how this goes. And we are looking to ship VisiData 3.0 in December. And we're getting actually really close. I think it's down to a couple other minor features. I think I still want to try to get in there, and obviously fixing a few whatever bugs come up between. I'm kind of a fan of the old school strategy of 0 bug bounce, which means that we get down to 0 bugs, and then whatever bugs is added after that is okay. We're just going to ship though, and yeah, then we should have a 3.0 out there, and it should have some awesome features. So anyway, thanks a lot, Matt, and thanks to you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.